Hello, everybody. I have a little bit of time to go live and get some studying done right now. So I'm going to pick back up where I left off on my Thinkful prep course. Unfortunately, I haven't had a lot of time this weekend or this week to study. So I have fallen a little bit behind. I really wanted to get into the JavaScript functions by now, but I've been busy with work and I just started some college classes, so I haven't had a ton of time to work on it, but I'm hopping back into it now. I've got probably about an hour to go over this and then I have to wrap it up. So I'm going to hop right into it. All right. So I have rearrange a little bit. Whoa, that's crazy. I don't know what happened there. I'm going to share my screen again, though, because that was nuts. All right, so going over objects. This lesson will introduce a new JavaScript collection type, objects. A collection of values and their associated keys. Here is our client. Our pretend client, Diego, is very impressed with your ability to handle his requests. Just as you have grown your skills as a JavaScript developer, so has Diego. He is now selling merch. We are going to help Diego update his website to sell merchandise. We want to organize and manage data on his products, like the items and price for each one. To do this, it will help us to store data as an object. After you have understood how to organize data as an object, you will be able to store the object within an array. Then you should have no problem helping Diego with his next feature request. I am actually taking an e-commerce class right now, and I think this will tie in nicely with it because it looks like he's going to want to sell merchandise now. So we'll see how that connects to the website. An introduction to objects. Take a moment to revisit what you know about arrays. When you were first introduced to the concept, you saw an image of a storage box that held many numbered slots. As you learned, an array works just like that storage box. The slots of an array are numbered or indexed, like in the storage box, so that you can reliably manipulate their contents in a certain order. The array will be an essential part of your journey as a developer, but there is an equally important collection type that you'll also need to master. It's called the object. A new type of collection. So what are objects? An object is a type of collection that holds information, just like an array. But instead of operating like a storage box, an object can be represented using another analogy, a dictionary. An object makes it possible to store data using key-value pairs, as a dictionary does. Suppose that you are asked to make an app that translates common Spanish words to English. You could store the words using key-value pairs. The keys could be the words in Spanish, and the values could be the words in English. So we have let dictionary equal, and then we have our key value. So hola is hello, and so on. For another example, imagine a collection of gifts that needs to be handed out to a group of people. Picture something like this. Imagine that, I need water. I am struggling today. My throat has been so dry. Imagine that the gifts in this image are for a class of children. Each gift has a gift tag with the appropriate child's name on it. And the teacher simply needs to give each child their gift. As you may have noticed, these gifts aren't in any particular order. In fact, they are basically just sitting in an unorganized pile. How should the teacher distribute these gifts? In this situation, the teacher would likely grab each gift, look at the gift tag, and hand the gift to each child whose name is on the tag. This analogy captures the structure of an object. An object holds many values represented by the gifts, and each value has a unique key represented by the gift tags. Try modeling the gift example below using an object. So this is an example of an object. Select gifts. Okay, so Tommy has the stuffed giraffe. Lisa has a coloring book. Roberto has a baseball cap, and Beth has a suit of armor. What you see here is a JavaScript object. It has the unique gift tags or the other children's names, as you see above, which are known as keys or properties in JavaScript, and has the gifts themselves. The coloring book and baseball hat, for example, which are called values. So we have our keys and we have our values. We're familiar with kind of both of those at this point. Objects allow you to keep track of the value that belongs to each key. Then you can retrieve a value using the name of the key. So we have gifts, Tommy. When we put Tommy in, we know that he's going to have the stuffed giraffe because that's the value of Tommy. All right, we have a little video here representing the real world in JavaScript, using objects to represent the real world in JavaScript. Here we go. And you know I like to kind of speed through these videos, so I'm just gonna speed that up a little bit. Okay, for some reason I'm having a little bit of lagging today, so let me restart that. I think I'm just gonna have to watch it in regular speed. I think I know how I would do it, but I'm just gonna see. I'm gonna move forward and check out their example. Oh, they put the pause in the video. Object syntax. Before going any further, you'll need to learn about object syntax. Objects start and end with curly brackets. Keys must be a string data type, but they can be any string. A colon sits between each key and the value that it points to, and a comma separates key value pairs. Unlike keys, values can be any data type. They can be a number, an array, a Boolean value, null, or even another object. Okay, and any JavaScript data type can be a value. Take a look at the example below. Okay, so we have an object with a mix of data types. So let action figure equal, and then we have our values, our keys with their values. We have a string, a number, and a Boolean in there. Okay, dot notation. Once an object is defined, you can get the values inside it using either dot notation or bracket notation. Dot notation is the most common method for retrieving values from inside an object. And it looks like this. So you have object name dot key. As you can see, this notation uses a period or dot. Check out the example below. Can you see the dot notation in action? Okay, so we have our example that we had above with our mixed objects or mixed data types. And then we have our dot notation down below, action figure dot name, action figure dot limited edition. All right, and then we have an example accessing values inside an object. So we're going to check that out. Okay, so yeah, I think I would definitely modify it a little bit down here. I want to see if that's what I like how they add the little pauses within the video. So students, that's what I was kind of thinking to do, but I wasn't thinking to add the dot there. But I was thinking to do something somewhat similar. So students, and then we grab which one we want, and then we specify that we only want the time zone. All right, we have our first replet right here. We're going to go ahead and fork that if my computer will allow it. We're practicing accessing values inside an object. So let's see how we would do that. Oh no, what happened here? Oh, it's just a little announcement there. All right, so we have our object right here, our key with the value. This is how we grab each one of these. And then if we run it, we're going to get that list. There's not much practicing you can do there because it already is done for you, but it's a good example of how you would get those different objects, which is what we just watched in the video. All right, moving on to bracket notation. Dot notation is useful. Okay, so bracket notation is the other way to do it, to grab one of those objects. So dot notation is useful, but it won't work in every situation. You'll sometimes need to use bracket notation when the key that you wish to access is a string with a space in it. In this case, the key won't work as a dot accessor. Take a look at the examples. So getting information out of an object, let categories. Okay, so we have that example, and then it says you can't do these. So use bracket notation instead. Okay, so this is what they mean by that. You can see that the notation that works here is object name. So we have our object name, which is categories, and then our key right here. Our key right here. You can see that the notation that works here is object name key because there are spaces in the keys. Best picture. Yep, so with our keys, it's not just one word. We have two separate words for best picture and best director. As you might have noticed, using bracket notation looks a lot like accessing values in an array, except that you can use names instead of numbers. So we are going to create and access objects. You're ready for a few quick exercises to test your understanding of object syntax. Follow these instructions and use the replet below. So we're going to create an object with the following keys and values. Then use this object as the value of the variable T-Rex facts. So we have our key and our value here. They have it laid out for us. Access the values, assign the variable height by accessing the height with dot notation. Assign the variable teeth by accessing the number of teeth using square bracket notation. So that is what they want us to do. Use both of those different methods to access a value. We're not accessing an object, we're accessing a value. So I misspoke earlier. All right, but this is all new to me, so I'm still getting used to the lingo. Is this gonna load? Man, my computer is really struggling today. All right. Create the T-Rex facts object. Let T-Rex facts, but it looks like they already did it for us right here. Let T-Rex facts. Okay. So all we really need to do is just, oops, oh my gosh, my computer is just being crazy. I'm actually gonna just close out of this and reload it because it's not really wanting to load. Okay. It's funny because I have a Windows side of my computer and a Linux side of my computer. And when I'm on my Linux side, it runs very smooth. I don't have any issues like I do on my Windows side. I'll have to kind of look into that and see why that is, which will be fun. Fun little thing to figure out. Okay, so we're just going to take away those comments, and now we have our object already created, it looks like. So we have our key and then our value right here. And then we have access the values object, so let height equal T-Rex facts.height. And that's how we're going to access the height. Let teeth equal T-Rex facts. And then number of teeth. So they already have our dot and then our bracket to grab those two values. So it doesn't really look like we have to create too much here. And then we have our, code down below that we're not supposed to modify. So let's just run this and see what we get. Yeah, it was pretty much already done. So we have yep, it looks like that is all correct. And I'm sure they'll have more exercises in here for practicing with that. Just going to kind of absorb this information and look over it a little bit more just to kind of get familiar with the syntax. I think that's one of the main things of just learning JavaScript at this point is recognizing the format and being able to recognize what different things mean, because it really is like learning a language. You have to become familiar with it. All right, so I'm going back in here. I only have about 5 more minutes that I'm going to spend with this right now, and then I might pick back up later this weekend. But I do just have a ton of other things that I need to make sure that I get done. And I am supposed to work later today, so I just got a lot of other things I need to do, but I still want to bust this out, finish this, and get to the functions where I wanted to be this past weekend. So that's my goal. And then I might actually do some studying with my college classes that I'm enrolled in. I'm enrolled in all computer classes, and I do have like a beginning programming course that I decided to take. So I might end up doing some of those on my live stream just to kind of go through that. And yeah, I think that'll be fun to do. So, and I need to get my homework done. So that'll hold me accountable to that too, which is good. All right. So moving on here, I'm going to get a little bit of water. All right, adding key value pairs to an object. Once you've defined an object, you can add new key value pairs to the object by using either dot notation or bracket notation. Here's an example of how to add a key and an associated value to an object. Which key value pairs are being added to this object? So we have mom, Cynthia, dad, Paul, and then they added a sister and brother-in-law. So we have Lucinda and Merle that we added. You can also update an existing key's value with the same syntax, like in the example below. My family, brother-in-law, Scotty. Using bracket notation with variables. When you use bracket notation to access a property, you are allowed to use any string, including a variable or an expression. So let's look over that. My family, mom, my family, mom. Okay. So that's just different ways to do that. Also allowed, though pretty silly, that is pretty silly. So you have m plus o plus m, and then you still get the same result of Cynthia. You can put any expression inside the brackets. JavaScript will turn whatever is in between the brackets into a key. Then it will give you back the corresponding value. Object notation practice. Here are some drills to help you practice this new object notation. Drill fruit basket. You're putting together a colorful fruit basket for a friend, and you're using an object to plan what fruit you'll put in. Use the syntax for adding values to add the following fruits to the fruit basket object in the REPL below. The fruit name is the new key, and the color is the new value. So we have banana, yellow, avocado, green, strawberry, red. And then they want us to add some other. Okay, so they want us to add those. Let's see how we can do that here. In the past lesson that I did and this one, they added like a solution REPL, which is kind of cool because if you get stuck, you don't have to spend a million years on it. You can just check your work on there. All right, so I think we'll leave off here. Definitely go into some other interesting things in this lesson. This one looks like it's combining the looping over objects and arrays. In the last little module, we went over for loops, which I definitely need to revisit and make sure that I understand those and how they work and how to write one or code one. And this one's nesting. All right, so don't have too much more to do in this lesson, but I am gonna leave off here after I try this, after I attempt it. If it ever loads. Let's see, did it load for me? There we go. So adding key value pairs to objects don't modify the object here. So we have add other fruits and colors using dot. What ones did they want us to add? Banana. Okay. Add the other fruits and colors using dot notation below. Remember that they are case sensitive. Okay. Yeah, so I'm just going to basically, I believe fruit basket is how we start, and then we're gonna add oops, what are we gonna add? I think I'm doing this wrong. I think I'm doing that wrong. I just kind of want to see what that. Okay, I got undefined because I definitely did that wrong. Banana should be yellow. Expected yellow got undefined. Maybe I have to do it like this. Perhaps. Okay. So that's how it would work. So then we add fruit basket dot avocado, and that is going to be green. And the last one they wanted was strawberry. Oops. Come on. We're going to add this to our fruit basket. Strawberry. And that is going to be red. And that should be, those should all pass. So let's take a look. All right. Okay, I don't think we need to check our work because we did figure it out. It was not that complicated. Drink shop. This is the next drill we have here. You recently opened up a drink shop. I'm struggling to talk today. And you need to add the beverages and the prices for each beverage that you'll sell. In the REPL below, add 3 new drinks and their prices to the object. Use dot or bracket notation. You can choose the names of the drinks and their prices. Okay, and they want us to add 3 new drinks and their prices. Let me see how much time I have. I actually might be able to finish this lesson, so I'm gonna just continue and maybe we can just finish this up right now if it decides to load. Okay, we're gonna add some drinks. So drinks, what should we add? Tea. Am I doing that wrong? No, you know what? We'll do. Oh, I guess that falls into the tea category, but I can't think of any drinks right now that I'd really want to have. So we have tea, smoothie, and boba. Let's see. And then how we would do that in bracket notation, we should practice that. So for bracket notation, that would just be, oops, like this. No, that's not right. I might need to put that in like that. Okay, so we're just missing our little parentheses. Or not parentheses, quotations. And this is how this is how it would look in bracket. All right, so there we go. Practicing the 2 different ways to do that. Programming languages. You just learned about the creators of different programming languages and you want to show off your new knowledge. In the REPL below, add the programming languages: COBOL, Swift, JavaScript. I don't know if I pronounced that right. So Swift, JavaScript, Java, and to the languages object. The key should be the name of the programming language. The value should be the name of the creator of the language as a string. Cool. Now I kind of want to Google that. Okay, I've never heard of this before. This is how I get off track. Interesting. All right. So here we go. We have our languages and our creators. Okay. The original language is variable. Don't modify it here. Okay, so we have that. And now we're going to add the other languages with their creators below using dot notation. And it's going to just be languages dot. We have to add these other race author. Oops. See. Oops. Okay. Yep, I think that's it. Let's see. No, I did it wrong. All wrong. What did I do wrong here? I know I did something silly, probably. That's like super obvious. But that's why I'm doing it, to learn and get better. Definitely going to make a lot of silly mistakes. That's okay. So I think it has something to do with these names because they're spaced out. Maybe it's because I capitalized S in JavaScript? Nope. Oops. Oh, missing some of the languages? You should have added. Wait. Do I not have all the languages there? I feel like I did this correct. I'm really not sure. Oh, I misspelled Java. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I cannot believe it. See, silly little mistakes. It wouldn't accept that because I misspelled Java and it was right in front of my face. But at least I figured it out. You just really got to be careful about that, I guess. So yeah, I was doing the format correct. You just got to be careful about the spelling. That's kind of annoying. But that's why programmers are supposed to have good attention to detail, which apparently I'm lacking today. If you get stuck, okay. Now we have test scores. Imagine that you're back in high school, yeah, and you've missed an important assignment. Oh man, this one's giving me anxiety already. You don't want your parents to know that your grades are suffering, so you go ahead and hack your grades. Oh no, this one's not good. They want to change the test with the lowest score to 98. This one's not too good. It's teaching people bad things. All right, let me go ahead and open that one. Okay, they want us to modify test 1. So my grades dot test 1 is going to equal 98. Did they want it to be? Let's see if that does it. Oh my gosh, we just hacked the grade and now it's 98. All right, so objects and arrays. Okay, it's time to kick it up a notch. You've seen that arrays can store numbers, strings, and Boolean values, but arrays can also store objects. Looping over objects in arrays. This video shows an example of an array with multiple objects inside it. The code uses a for loop, which you're familiar with. I do need to review it though, because I'm not that familiar with it, but somewhat. To check each object in the array, check out the video below and do your best to follow along. All right. Probably are. Oh. Objects in a loop. This demo has another example of an array. I'm going to actually close out of all these REPLs I have open up here. Okay, this demo has another example of an array with multiple objects. In this case, there's a for loop that checks whether each object whether each object has a tending set to true or false. This loop uses almost every concept that you've seen so far: variables, control flow, loops, arrays, and objects. Read the code carefully before running it and try to predict what it will do. It's worth noting that the problem that you'll see in this demo is a common type of problem that you'll encounter as a developer. You'll practice many more examples like this one, and over time, you'll become more comfortable writing code that handles arrays of objects. Okay. Okay, let's get that to load. Let party people. Here we have our object, and then we have our loop. Ooh, this is getting pretty exciting. We have a lot going on here. Loop through each item, check if the person is attending. If they are attending, say they are partying, otherwise say they are burnt out. Oh, if the person is attending, if they are attending, say they are partying, otherwise say they are burnt out. So we have that, our for loop, and then our conditions, if and else. Joe is burnt out on partying. Jasmine is partying. Julio is burnt out on partying. Julia is partying. Nesting data or data, however you want to say it, it's fine with me. Inside the loop in the example above, the loop used the following lines: party people, attending, party people, name. Name and attending. Those are our two keys. Yeah, those are our two keys. Now look a little closer at what's happening here. Party people is an array. Okay, yes it is. And I is a number like 3, so party people will access the array at that index. If you look at the array, you can see that the item at the index is name Julia, attending true, an object. When you do party people attending, it works the same way as if you had the object and a variable. You are accessing the attending property of the object. Here's how you could rewrite it. Let person, party people, now person has the object name, Julia attending true. Arrays can have objects inside them. Objects can also have arrays inside. Arrays can have arrays inside, and objects can have other objects inside too. When there are things inside things, that's called nesting. You might hear someone talk about nested arrays or nested objects. The syntax for accessing nested objects is sometimes confusing to follow. Can help to break it down piece by piece. So we have nested objects. Objects are a different data type Then the other 5 data types in JavaScript. The other 5 data types are Boolean, numbers, strings, nulls, and undefined. Are sometimes referred to as primitives. Objects are a complex data type because objects can contain other variables as properties. They can even contain other complex data types like objects, arrays, and functions. An object that is a property of another object is referred to as a nested object. In this example, programs is nested under university, and science is nested under programs. It's all nested in there. Access to nested objects uses the same dot or bracket notation. The notation is chained for each property until it gets to a property within a primitive data type. University, programs, science, enrollment. And that's where we get the 2000. This reminds me of kind of like file. It's like a file structure is what I kind of link it to in my brain because that's what I'm more familiar with. Dot and bracket notation can also be combined to access or set nested object properties. So we have university, if you want to do it that way. I like the look of that one better personally, but I guess since we have the 2 word computer science there, we'd have to do it that way. University.programs.science enrollment. Next, work through a few challenges to practice nested objects. You're creating an app to track people within your organization. In the REPL below, add the property address to the person object with 3 of its own properties: street, city, and zip code. Okay. Please load. There we go. I think we are almost near the end here. Okay, so we have add a property to person called address. It should be an object with 3 of its own properties: street, city. Okay. I'm definitely going to have to go over these drills again at some point, because I think these are really good practice. But, okay, how would I do that? I guess it would just be like let address equal, and then this is where we'd make our own object. Oops, and I'm doing the wrong thingies. So this is where we do our keys with the value. So street would be what is it? 221B Baker Street. And then we'd add the next one, which would be, I'm actually going to move this down a little bit. next one, which would be, or would we put brackets like that? Or would we just be doing, let's see, maybe it's like this, and then city. I don't know if it would be like this. I guess we'll find out. City would be New York City. Okay, so I think I'm doing something wrong already because I can see the way city is highlighted doesn't look like how I want it to be highlighted. I'm gonna keep going though. And then our last one is zip code, not zip code, zip code. One zero 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 one. Maybe I don't need to put those semicolons at the end. Add a property to person called address. So we have address, and then we have, so our person, what are we going to do? Person address. Oh, we'll see what this runs. Okay, definitely did not do that right. Okay, so I formatted something incorrectly because it's saying syntax. So do I need these? Maybe I don't need those. Okay, no, it's still not. So what would I do? Oh, you know what? It's because these are, I wonder if I have to do it this way. That's a number, so it doesn't need to be like that. I'm gonna just do it this way. Just like how they did up here, because I'm basically just copying this format down here, and then we have person. Let's see if we run it this way. What? Oh, because that is wrong too. Looks like you haven't the address property to person yet. Oh, person dot address equals, oh, address. Okay. Let's see if maybe this is correct. Looks like you haven't added all properties to address. Make sure address has a street, city, and zip property. Maybe I don't need to capitalize that. I don't know. It's the little things. It's the little things that I get stuck on when it comes to formatting stuff. Okay, so it liked it that time. Maybe I had like an extra space or something in there. I'm not sure. So we have, okay, cool. So going back to, I'm definitely going to need to practice going over that a little bit. Going back to our drills, we have the other one here. That is, once again, imagine that you're back in high school. This time you're working on the school's student roster. You've noticed that 2 students have been mixed up. In other words, the information for one student, Jacob, is actually the correct information for another student, Yermo, or how you pronounce that. I'm not good at pronouncing things. And vice versa. In the REPL below, change Jacob with Yermo. Create a temporary variable to hold Jacob's value while you swap it for Yermo. Okay, so this one sounds like it will be fun. We shall see. We shall see. My very slow moving computer today. Just like me, I guess. I'm pretty slow moving today too. Tired. All right. So here we have it. Updating key value pairs of objects. We have students. We have Jacob and then Guillermo. Write your solution here. Use the temp variable to hold on to one value while you swap it for the other. Well, they already started it for us, it looks like. So which student are we swapping? We're swapping Jacob. So our variable, or our student. And then we have Jacob. So that's going to be our temporary holder. So here we have, this is supposed to be Yermo, and this is supposed to be Jacob. Let's just run that. I want to see what that does. Okay. So we probably just want students. Jacob. We're just going to swap him out. Jacob is now going to equal Yermo. Oh, well, yeah, that's right. Yermo. And then we have students. Yermo. And that's going to equal Jacob. Forgot to put my little, see what that does. Okay, so I did not, oh, Yermo is undefined. That's because let's swap the two. Maybe this one is supposed to be okay. So I think this one is going to be students.Yermo. And then our Yermo is going to be our temporary holder. So that's going to be what that is. Let's see if that goes through. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's go back to our lesson then. Merchandise. Okay, now we have our client again. Diego, I'm so excited to start selling things on my website. Right now, I only have 3 items: a guitar mount, a guitar pick box, and a guitar stand. As you can see, the bulk of the web design has been done, but I need these items added so that the shopping cart will display them properly. Thank you again for all your help with this. Once you submit your completed assessment and qualified, return to this screen to continue to your next lesson. Okay, so let's just go for it and see if we can do it. Oh, did I close out of that? I did close out of that. And then this is going to be it. Once we complete this, completely done with the lesson. I know I was only going to do a small little bit of this lesson, but we were going good, so decided to finish it up. Oh, I forgot. For some reason, it won't let me take the exam in here, so I am actually going to have to shut it down now, and then I'll do it on my Linux side of my computer because for some reason it just doesn't like to open. I've tried different browsers and everything. If you have any idea why that is, maybe leave a comment because I can't open the qualified exams on my Windows portion. There's something blocking it. I tried to look into it, but these just won't open for whatever reason on here. But all right, I hope that you guys have a great rest of your Friday, and I will see you in the next one.